Hi guys, first here are two shoutouts. This build wouldn't have been possible without the good advice on detail I got from Stevie Gibson. I asked him for help because he's a T-34 expert and he kept an eye on the things I was doing. Stevie, you're a nag, but a very nice one. Thanks a lot for your support, that was and is most helpful, mate. Next shoutout goes to Steve Mottram. My upcoming builds are the Panzer IIIN and the Stück 3B. Steve sent me 2 books on the vehicle so I can gather more information. I'm a bookman, so this fantastic way to help me is greatly appreciated. Steve, you're a real nice guy and it's good to know you're around. Guys, check out Steve's and Brett's body build. Both are building the Panther Ausführung D and watching the vids is really worthwhile. Thank you so much, Steve. You're amazing, mate. The holes for the external tanks had been filled and were now ready for sanding. My girlfriend got me a powder brush. It's fantastic for wiping off dust without damaging detail. A good opportunity to use the sanding tools Mark O'Neill sent me along with the M981 kit. The scratches look worse than they actually are. After priming they won't be visible anymore. The toolbox and one of the mechanisms for tightening the hooks for the tow cables. I used aluminum foil to enhance the detail on the toolbox. This is just my interpretation of the mechanism, the best I was able to build from scratch. And here's my way to build an antenna or aerial that's mounted on a coil spring. I use a bronze-wound steel guitar string and pull up the bronze wire. Only 5mm are left and they represent the spring. You can sand the steel wire towards the end to thin it down a little. And that's what it looks like on the T-34. I built the long handrails using 0.6mm copper wire and 0.5mm plastic sheet for the fittings. The holes were drilled before cutting them out. After that I sanded the upper edge to a round shape. I'll use some of the rope I got from Bob Anna to attach the tarp to the handrail. To attach the boxes I'll use the hooks I made earlier and some rope too. The 4 rubber tire road wheels are masked for putting on the rubber collar. I added some battle damage to the front and rear hull. I used several different bits and my Dremel in short bursts at a very high speed. I was so glad when I found this real cheap metal gun barrel for a T-34. A T-34, not my T-34. It wasn't the right barrel. Here you can see it, it's around 2 centimeters too short. And it's such a beautiful rifled barrel. I should have asked if there were different types of a 76.2mm barrel. Now I know there were 3. But what to do now? Try to get a new barrel, wait several days for the barrel to be delivered. The alternative was trying to use the wrong barrel along with the original barrel. The only way to do that was to rifle the plastic barrel. Tools needed, different drill bits up to 2.5mm, a hand vise and a sharp file. The drill bits were marked with tape. I drilled out the plastic barrel to a caliber of 2.5mm. Then I filed down the muzzle of the metal gun barrel to the same diameter. Fits precisely. Then I cut off the muzzle to the length that was indicated by the markings on the drill bits. I inserted the metal muzzle into the plastic barrel. Only a tiny bit of superglue was necessary around the muzzle to make sure there wouldn't be the hint of a gap. There you go, a rifled plastic barrel. Time needed, including taking and editing the pics, 2 hours. A little fine-tuning on the gun barrel was left to do, but that was nothing serious. I built the handrails from scratch because there were nasty seam lines on the original parts. At least I wanted to use the original mounts. That didn't work because it was impossible to hold them and drill holes for the rails. So I built these parts from scratch as well, just the way I did it for the long handrails. Handrails attached, one open hatch attached after filling and sanding the ejector pin mark. I added a little interior detail in the area that will be, well, visible. Stevie Gibson told me I had glued the handrails in the wrong position, so I had to remove them. Thanks to Stevie, I was able to find the correct position and I attached them again. Here's what it will look like with spare track links. And Stevie gave me instructions on how to position the turret lifting hooks properly. Here you can see what will be actually visible inside the turret. The detail I added is a fuse box, I guess, and some hydraulic tubing. On one of Stevie's pics I saw the handle for the hatch and I tried to build that from 0.4mm plastic sheet. Shaving off the molded on handle wasn't possible without breaking up the hatch, so I just left it the way it was. Last thing to do on the turret was adding some battle damage.